Hi guys, I'm Freya and welcome to my new channel. I'm so excited to be starting a video today. Just a little bit about myself. I'm Freya, I'm from Britain and I absolutely love names, everything to do with names. It's kind of my passion, you could say. I just find it so interesting looking on YouTube or just on the internet at new names, their meanings, that kind of thing. And when I looked on YouTube, I couldn't really find that many channels just dedicated to names. Like I could find an odd video on a channel about their favourite names, but I could never find just one channel dedicated to names. And I thought I'd just start my own channel because I absolutely love names and everything to do with like baby names and popularity and everything. So I thought I'd just start a channel to help out people who may be looking for names or just interested like me. So I hope you love my channel as much as I will love making the videos. And today's video is going to be the ABC baby name tag video, I think that's what it's called. Basically what you do is you just go through every letter of the alphabet and name your favourite name for like each letter for both boy and girl. So I hope you enjoy the video and make sure to like, subscribe and comment what you thought down below. Let's get started. So for the letter A for a girl, I chose the name Amelia, which means striving. I've always loved the name Amelia. I think it's just so beautiful. It is becoming more popular recently. I think it might even be #1 in the UK. But that doesn't really stop me from loving it. Like, the popularity of the name doesn't really, prevent me from still loving the name, and I would definitely use it for a daughter in the future. So I love the name Amelia. For a boy, for the letter A, I chose the name Arthur. And the only association I could find with that is just King Arthur. I love the name Arthur. I think it's so strong and masculine. And yeah, I also love the nickname Artie. The only thing that would stop me from using it maybe for my child is that I know a lot of Arthurs who are very annoying. So that would maybe be the one thing that would prevent me. But apart from that, I absolutely love the name. I just think it's amazing. For B, for a girl, I chose the name Belle, which means beautiful. I absolutely love this name. Every time I hear it, it reminds me of Beauty and the Beast. Like, I love it so much. It's also quite a cool name. Like, it's Italian. It's kind of like, I don't know, funky kind of. I don't know. I feel like it has that kind of cool feel in the background. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. The only reason I probably wouldn't use it for my child is it is quite popular. I mean, it's not popular in the sense that you hear it everywhere, but when you think of Belle, you don't normally think, oh, that's quite unique, if you know what I mean. But I do love Belle. I think it's beautiful. For B, for a boy, I chose the name Benjamin, or Ben for short. I absolutely love Ben. It's so cute. It means son of the south. And yeah, I just think it's kind of strong, but when you think of Ben, you kind of think of a nice, kind of happy, friendly guy. And yeah, I've always loved the name Ben. It kind of reminds me of Ross's son on Friends. But yeah, just love the name Ben. It's adorable. For C, for a girl, I chose Cleo, which means pride, fame and glory. Obviously it is a variation or a shortening of Cleopatra. I would not use that. It's a bit too out there for me. But Cleo kind of reminds me of Chloe, but kind of a bit more unique. And I love it. I think it's adorable. I can just imagine a little dark-haired girl running around. I think it's so cute. For C, for a boy, I chose Caleb, which means faithful dog. The meaning could be taken as a bit weird, but I kind of think it's quite cute. Like, dogs are quite faithful, they're quite, they're a man's best friend, and I think it's adorable that your son could be like your best friend or your little companion. I think that's quite cute, actually. But yeah, Caleb, I first heard on Pretty Little Liars, but now it's got very popular. Like, I think in the States it's more popular than in the UK, but still it is quite popular. But I do love it. It's adorable. For D, for a girl, I chose Delilah, which means delicate. I love this name so much. It's probably one of my favourites, to be honest. I just love the meaning, and I think it has kind of a classic feel to it. I think it'd probably be used more on like older people nowadays, but I still love it. I think it'd be adorable for a little girl, and yeah, I just love it. For D, for a boy, I chose Dylan, which means son of the wave. I love this name so much. It always reminds me of Dylan O'Brien, who is very funny. And yeah, I love the name. I think it's kind of strong, but yeah, when you think of the name Dylan, you don't think kind of too tough. It's kind of like a cute name that grows with a person, and I think it's like such a nice name. For E for a girl, I chose Esme, which means loved, and I love the name Esme. I think it's just so adorable. It's kind of simple, yet you don't hear it that often, and I think it's highly underused, to be honest. It's such a beautiful name, and I think it also grows with the person. For E for a boy, I chose Elijah, which means masculine. I love the name Elijah. I also love the nickname Eli. Some people don't, but I think it's quite cute actually. And I find it quite interesting that the meaning is masculine, because I think it is kind of not feminine, but it doesn't feel like it's that strong. However, I do kind of like the jar ending, and yeah, I think it's just really handsome. Also, I think it is getting more popular, but again, popularity isn't that big a deal for me, so I don't really mind. For F for a girl, I chose Florence, which means blossoming. I love this name so much, it kind of reminds me of Florence and the Machine. But I don't really like the nickname Flo or Flory. I kind of like Flora though, so yeah, I'm not too keen on the nicknames for the name, but Florence I think is so beautiful. Oh, and also, fun fact, I was going to be called Florence if I wasn't called Freya. So yeah, makes me love the name even more. For F for a boy, I chose Felix, which means lucky or fortunate. I love this name. It's such a happy name, and I love the kind of X ending. It kind of reminds me of PewDiePie and also the cat food, but other than that, I still love it. And I think it isn't that popular, so yeah, I think it's just really cute and kind of grows with the person. So yeah, I love it. For G for a girl, I chose Grace, which means God's favour. I did struggle with this letter a bit because I'm not a big fan of G names, but I've always loved Grace. It's just, I don't know, it's not my most favourite name. It's just one that I kind of like, there's a few people I know called Grace who I don't like as much as the name, but yeah, I think it is quite a beautiful name, and if you want a name that's, got a meaning relating to God, I think that's such a beautiful meaning for that as well. So yeah, Grace. For G for a boy, I chose Gideon, which means a destroyer. Not the best meaning, but it does kind of remind me of Gaston. It has this kind of weird connection with it somehow from Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, I love the name Gideon. I probably would use it as a middle name rather than a first name, but yeah, the meaning's a bit weird, but I still love the name. For H for a girl, I chose Holland, which means woodland. I love the name Holland. Some people might associate it with the country, but I do love the name Holland. It is beautiful, and it reminds me of Holland Roden, who plays Lydia in Teen Wolf. Yeah, I love the name Holland. It's just so beautiful, and you could always shorten it to Holly if you wanted to. It's kind of a nice alternative. So yeah, love the name Holland. For H for a boy, I chose Hugo, which means intelligence. I love the name Hugo. It reminds me of that French film with the clocks and stuff. But I don't like the shortenings that you get from Hugo, like Hugh or Huey. Not very keen on that. It sounds a bit too posh for me, but I do love Hugo, and I think it's so cute. For I for a girl, I chose Idony, which means to love. It kind of reminds me of Ebony and Ivory in some weird way, but I do love the name Idony. I probably would use it more for a middle name, maybe with the name Lily, like Lily Idony. I don't know, I think it's just a beautiful name and quite unique, so yeah. For I for a boy, I chose Isaac, which means he will rejoice. I love the name Isaac so much. It reminds me of the character from Teen Wolf. If you can't really tell, I love Teen Wolf. It's just such a kind of strong name, and it's not too common. I just love the name Isaac, and I like Zach as well, so it's kind of like a longer version of that. So yeah, love that name. For J for a girl, I chose the name Joanna, which means God is gracious. This name kind of means a lot to me because my great-grandma was called Joan and my mum is called Joanne, and I love Joanna. It's kind of a more modern variation of those two names, and I also love the nickname Joe and Jojo, so yeah, I love that name. For J for a boy, I chose the name James, which the only association I could find with that is King James, but I love the name James. It's such a classic, strong name. And I love also the shortenings for it, like Jay or Jamie. And I know it is kind of turning into one of those filler names where you just use it as a middle name or you just use it for the shortenings. However, I still love it and it will always be a favourite of mine. For K for a girl, I chose the name Karenza, which means love. I did struggle with K, just because I don't like the kind of common Ks like Kelly or Chloe or like, I don't know, those kind of names. But Karenza, it has got quite an American feel to it, however I still like it spelled with an S, and the meaning is love. For K for a boy, I chose Keen, which means fighter. It's an Irish name, and I absolutely love Irish names like so much. And it also reminds me of the band Keen. I don't know if any of you guys know that band, but yeah, I love the name. It's just so kind of strong. But yeah, love it. For L for a girl, I chose the name Lola, which means sorrows. Quite a sad meaning, but yeah, I love the name Lola. It always reminds me of that. Is it the Kinks song? I think it's the Kinks. And I love how it's so short and it's so simple, but it has like so many lovely sounds in it. And yeah, I love the name Lola. It's just so beautiful. For L for a boy, I chose Leo, which means lion. I'm not normally that keen on short names, like just like 3 or 4 letters, but obviously for L, I don't mind. But yeah, I love Leo. It's kind of similar to Cleo, but I just love Leo. I'm not too like keen on longer variations like Leonardo or those kind of names because they're mainly like from different cultures and languages, and I think it would be a bit strange for me to use an Italian name just even though Belle I could use, but I think I would stick with more classic English names for boys. But yeah, I love the name Leo. It's so cute. For M for a girl, I chose the name Malia, which means calm. As you guys know, I love Teen Wolf now. But Malia is a character from Teen Wolf. I love the way it sounds. It kind of, the Marley bit reminds me of Bob Marley, and I think it's just such a nice kind of, you know, it's kind of like a longer version of Leah, but I love the kind of Ma sound. So yeah, Malia, and it has such a beautiful meaning as well. For M for a boy, I chose the name Montgomery, which means mountain. I love the name Montgomery. It is a bit strange, but I would probably use the shortening Monty. I love this name so much. The only reason I wouldn't use it is because my first ever dog was called Monty, so it'd be a bit strange if I like. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of my dog, but I do love the name Monty. For N for a girl, I chose the name Noelle, spelt Noelle, not just like Noel, but yeah. And this means Christmas. I love the fact that it means that because that's kind of my favourite part of the year. And also I was born like right after Christmas. But yeah, I love the name Noelle, and I think it would be perfect if you had a winter baby. And yeah, I think it's just adorable. For N for a boy, I chose Nicholas, which means like kind of a Saint Nicholas. Doesn't mean that, but you know. I love the shortening of Nico. Obviously for N, I'm into the Christmas vibes at the moment, but I think Nico is so cute. I kind of like Franco. I like with those kind of O sounds at the end, and yeah, Nico is just adorable. So yeah. For O for a girl, I chose Orla, which means Golden Princess. I did really struggle with finding an O name for a girl because I don't really like many O names, and also for a boy I struggled as well. But Orla, it kind of reminds me of that Dancer Off Strictly Come Dancing from the UK, and you watch that, I don't know. But yeah, Orla is kind of simple and quite cute, and yeah, I loved it. For O for a boy, I chose the name Otis, which means wealth or fortune. I did struggle a lot with an O name for a boy because I'm not too keen on like Oliver or Owen or any of those names. But Otis, I think, is kind of cute. I kind of reminds me of a cat name. I don't know why, but I definitely wouldn't use it for my child just because it's a bit too out there for me. But I do kind of love the sound of it, so yeah. For P for a girl, I chose the name Pippa, which means to love. It is a variation of Philippa, which I'm not too keen on, but Pippa, I think is quite cute and sweet. However, I don't think it would grow with a person that much. Maybe for a grandma and a baby, but I don't see really in between kind of success, you could say. But yeah, I think Pippa's quite cute, so yeah. For P for a boy, I chose the name Patrick, which means the noble, or of course Saint Patrick. It's an Irish name, and I love Irish names. I love that you can shorten it to Paddy or PK or whatever your heart desires. And yeah, it's just such a classic name. I just love it. So cute. Q. I really struggled with Q for both boy and girl. For a girl though, for Q, I chose the name Quinn, which means wisdom. Of course, it can be used for either sex, but I prefer for a girl. Don't know why. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that. And for Q for a boy, I chose Quixley, which means clearing. Bit of an odd meaning, but it was the only one that was remotely different to Quinn. Yeah, I kind of searched through a big list and chose that, so yeah. For R for a girl, I chose the name Rosaline, which means lovely rose. I think there was another meaning for it, like another translation, which was something about a horse. I don't know what that one was, but anyway, whenever I hear the name Rosaline, it of course makes me think of Romeo and Juliet, Romeo's first love. But yeah, I do love the name Rosaline, and it's kind of like a variation of Rose, but less common, and I like that. So yeah. For R for a boy, I chose the name Riley, which means valiant. I love the name Riley. It's kind of growing in population for both boys and girls. It is really cute, and I think it works for a young age, and also as he grows older, he could use it. Maybe he could shorten it, to Ryan or like Ryle. I don't know. It's kind of cute, and yeah, I think it's just adorable. For S for a girl, I chose the name Sophia, which means wisdom. I love the name Sophie, and I love Sophia. I think I just love Sophia more because of the S spelling, even though you could spell Sophie with an F, but anyway. I think it is very popular in the States at the moment, but not so popular over here in the UK, and I think it's just such a pretty name and such a classic in my opinion. So yeah, love the name Sophia. For S for a boy, I chose the name Silas, which means God of the Forest. I love the meaning of this name, and also Justin Timberlake named his son that, so that's just an add-on bonus, really. I love the name. It just has such a kind of unique sound, but yet it's so usable, and yeah, it's just such a handsome name. For T for a girl, I chose the name Tegan, which means poet. I also love Regan, but I prefer Tegan. I know a really pretty girl called Tegan, and she has like the most beautiful blonde hair and blue eyes, and it just reminds me of her every time I hear that name. And I just think it has such a kind of strong yet feminine sound to it, and I love it. For T for a boy, I chose the name Thomas, which means twin. Bit of an odd name for like just one single child, I guess, but I still love the name, and it's such a classic name. My best friend's called Thomas, and I also love the shortenings Tom and Tommy. They're just so cute. So yeah, love that name. For U, I really struggle with U again, but I chose the name Una for a girl, which means one. Yeah, I just kind of picked that one from a list, so yeah. For a boy, I chose Uriah, which means God is my light. I actually quite like this one, even though I did just pick it from a list, kind of like Una or Una. I don't know how to say that, but yeah. Uriah. It means life. It's quite cute. For V for a girl, I chose the name Vienna, which means white. Also, it's the Italian city. But yeah, I love the name Vienna. I like Sienna as well, but I kind of prefer the V beginning. But yeah, it's just such a beautiful name. For V for a boy, I chose the name Vito, which means life. I don't know if it's how you spell it. I think it might be Vito. Not sure. But yeah, I did struggle with V for a boy. For W for a girl, I chose the name Ren, which is a singing word. I love the name Ren. I first heard it on Pretty Little Liars, but that was for a man. Yeah, I kind of prefer it for a girl. I think it has more of a feminine sound. But yeah, I love the name Ren. It's so beautiful. For W for a boy, I chose the name Wilder, which means wild. I did struggle with W because I don't like Will or those kind of names, I guess. But Wilder I came across when I was looking at unique names, and I didn't like it at first, but it's kind of grown on me, and I think it's such a cute little meaning, and it sounds so cool. So yeah. For the letter X, I chose the name Zyla for a girl, which means of the wooded land. I did struggle with X as well, as it is one of those names which no one really uses for their kids. One of those letters, sorry. But yeah, Zyla. It kind of reminds me of xylophone, but still quite a cool name. For X, for a boy, I chose the name Zeno, which means strange voice. Bit of a strange meaning, but it's kind of the coolest one for X I could find. I'm not too keen on Xavier or any of those kind of more posh names, but Zeno just sounds like a really cool name, so yeah, pretty cool. For the letter Y, for a girl, I chose the name Yale, which means mountain goat. I did struggle a lot with the Y's for both boy and girl, but Yale I thought was quite cute actually. I'm pretty sure it's a Hebrew name, but yeah, pretty cute. For the letter Y, for a boy, I chose the name York, which means from the U estate. I'm not too keen on this one, but I couldn't really find any Y boy names that I really loved, so I kind of just went with York. I've just realised how long this video is, sorry you guys, but we are on the final letter. For Z, for a girl, I chose the name Zara, which I love so much. It means star or flower, and it always reminds me of the shop, but also it's such a cute name, and I love how short it is, and I love the kind of funky Z, which I will be a Z because it is the letter Z, but still I love it, so yeah. And finally, the last name on my list, Z, for a boy, I chose Zach, which means purity. I do prefer to spell it with a K, purely because my cousin's spelling's like that, and I kind of prefer how kind of sharp the K ending is, so yeah, and the meaning is just beautiful as well. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Sorry it was quite long. Hopefully my future videos won't be as long as this. I think it's just because there were so many names to get through and I'm a rambler, so I kept going on about every single one of them. But yeah, I hope you did enjoy the video, and I will be making weekly videos, so every week. I don't know if it'll be the same day every week or not, but yeah, so I hope you did enjoy this video. And make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought. And I'll be back next week with another video, guys. Bye.
Yeah. Baby girl, you're so damn fine, though. Wanna know if I can hit it from behind, though. I'm sipping on you like some fine wine, though. When it's over, I press rewind.